Hi, hello, how y'all doing? Spider-Man is my favorite comic book character of all time. Has been my entire life since I could formulate words. His stress and struggle throughout the normal functionalities of human life will never not be the most relatable superhero-esque storyline of all time. That is no different from what we have in the movie Spider-Man Brand New Day. The struggles of Peter Parker, the suffering of Peter Parker, the trials and tribulations of Peter Parker will never not fluctuate the best comic book movie-esque stories that I have ever seen. Spider-Man Brand New Day is easily one of the greatest movies per se that I've ever seen. Listen, it's fresh in the brain. Give me like a year or two, maybe I'll say like, it's like maybe like number 5 or 6 or whatever. But I feel like the best comic book stories and when we see our heroes suffer the most. And props to Tom Holland and Zendaya, them being able to translate the suffering of the characters of MJ and Peter Parker onto screen for our viewing pleasure will never not be a spectacle that is to be respected on all levels of actor and actress, of an Oscar level ability of performance. Kudos, round of applause, truly. The first portion of this video is going to be spoiler free, so I'll let you know when I start talking about spoilers. Fight choreography, easily some of the best fight scenes from any Spider-Man movie I have ever seen. I'm not gonna spoil each individual character that was showcased here, but the fight scenes with Scorpion, the street level thugs, the hand, it was direct reference copied from the Spider-Man PS4 and Spider-Man 2 PS5 video game. Brilliant choice. I even saw a interview with Tom Holland saying that he was playing the game like right before the premiere or whatever, and he said that they took direct references from some of the finishing moves from the PS4, PS5 games, and you can definitely see it. It's kind of hard to tell a little bit, but you can definitely see that some of the finishing moves are direct replicas from what you see with some of those 2-button prompt finishing moves in Spider-Man 2. So that definitely put a smile on my face for sure. Music. When has the Marvel Cinematic Universe movie not ever took you through every single emotion from sadness to happiness to aggression to rage to just joy within its music? Spider-Man 4 music, Brand New Day, spot on. It definitely takes you through every emotion that Peter Parker is feeling throughout the entire adventure. Just shout out. I loved it. It's so good, dude. It feels like real life. I feel like, us as human beings, us as people, we're put on this big blue spear. The vast majority of our lives is hard work, suffering, pain, where like a little small percentage is reward, passion, happiness, glory, but the vast majority of our lives for most able-bodied people is hard work, pain, suffering, doing whatever you need to do to make sure that your loved ones are taken care of, whether it be your spouse or your children or just the people around you that love you. You do whatever you need to do to make sure that the people that love you are taken care of. And I feel like Peter Parker is such an embodiment of that notion. There's just no way, and the Brand New Day does such a fantastic job of replicating that on screen. It's so fantastic to witness. It really is. Shout out to the professionalism of Tom Holland and Zendaya as a newly married couple. I've been married to my wife for 15 years now, and them being able to portray that level of suffering. No spoilers yet, but them being able to portray that on screen, being able to feel every tear shed, every heart-wrenching moment of it. I mean, we kind of seen it in the trailer a little bit when, of course, I don't want to rehash the story. If you're clicking on this video, I'm expecting you to know the core basis of the story, period. And like, if you click this one, like, I'll willy-nilly, like, I don't know what's going on. Come on, man. But okay, we know in the trailer that MJ's got a new boyfriend because it's a 4-year time jump. And seeing the emotion expressed by Tom Holland's Peter Parker after seeing that, not outside of the trailer, just seeing that on screen, just you feel that as a husband or the boyfriend, just seeing the love of your life being with another guy. Like, God, you know what I'm saying? You feel that. And what makes it even worse is that it's not like it was his decision to set her free from the trials and tribulations of Spider-Man, like every other Peter Parker before him. I get it though. I get it. Shout out to Sadie Sink for portraying a fantastic villain that it absolutely blows my mind that the marketing team decided to keep that a spoiler. I'm not going to spoil it in this portion of the video, but it's kind of outside in the open of who she plays in the movie. I'm not going to say it, even though it's kind of hard. You really can't even really talk about her character. It's just, I feel like that was definitely one portion of the movie that should have been revealed in the promotional side of it, especially when like all of your, you know, your new rock stars and your Deuce that from like a year ago. But she did a fantastic job of her going into, you know, it was definitely one of those Killmonger situations where after it's all said and done, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. That makes sense. You know, that's the best villains. That's the best villains. Like, why are you doing this? And then you find out what's going on in the background, and then you're like, oh, okay, I would do the same shit. You know, it is what it is. That's your best villains right there. Like, they're not even really villains. They're just people put in such extreme, horrendous situations where, you know, hey man, you're not going to do this to me and expect me to not react in a human, animalistic fashion. You know, you're not going to take the people that's most important to me and you think I'm just not going to do shit? Who the fuck? Okay, let me slow down. You're not going to do this and just think I'm just not going to do nothing. You're out of your mind. All in all, ultimately, this movie is going to make a ton of money. It's Spider-Man. It's a great movie. It's a great story. It's a great flick. You know, take your family, take all your loved ones, take your kids. It's family friendly for the most part. From Peter Parker's journey of fighting the trials and tribulations that he has to fight in this movie, getting to the finish line, the goal, the aspirations to continue. That with great power comes great responsibility. This is exactly what you signed up for. This is what you paid your $20 for. Or if it's date night, this is what you paid your $40 for. Or if it's family night, this is what you paid your $60, $80, or $100 for a ticket for everybody in your family. You know, and I say those movie ticket prices because taking your loved ones or your family to movies in 2026 is not cheap. It's not cheap. It's not cheap. So getting a breath of fresh air within a story such as this, of this magnitude, like, hey man, I got my money's worth. I am fulfilled. I am satisfied. My wife was satisfied. My daughter, 10 years old, you know, her knowledge of Spider-Man, and as any other 10-year-old's knowledge of Spider-Man, she was on the edge of her seat like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a good one. This is one that you don't need me to tell you. You just, you know, gather up all your posse if you haven't bought your ticket already. But most likely, if you're watching this video, I'm 99.9% sure you're going to go see it anyways. But if you were on the fence about it, you need to gather up your posse and go see this movie. That's all there is to it. And with that, we need to switch over to the spoiler side of the video. So thank you for watching, but if you have not seen the movie yet, click off right now. Okay, extra credit scene. I'm starting off with the very end. Yeah, I know, don't judge me. Spider-Man's in space. I think it's either the Tom Holland Peter Parker is off fighting in the Secret Wars somewhere. As we know, the premise of the Avengers Doomsday, Dr. Doom's mission is to build the battle world, or whatever his perfect utopia. He's pulling 3 worlds together, from the X-Men world, from the Avengers Dave Filoni world, and then from the other world, I can't remember which one, but there's three separate Earths together. He's building Battle World. I think the Peter Parker from, Brand New Day, the Tom Holland, might be off fighting off that. Either that, or I also had maybe a premonition. It might be the Venom symbiote, maybe, that's traveling to Earth that's trying to bond. Maybe that's being recognized as a Spider-Man, maybe. Then we also maybe, which is my personal favorite, maybe that Tobey Maguire, some Spider-Man action could be the Spider-Man, the Secret Worlds, the Secret Wars as well, fighting the good fight against Doctor Doom, trying to save multiple different Earths. So that would be my personal favorite, just saying, just throwing it out there. Just saying, Now, for the worst kept secret in the history of the MCU, Sadie Sink is definitely playing Jean Grey. I don't know why this needed to be kept a secret for the vast majority of the marketing process for the before the movie process, but it's definitely Jean Grey. Fantastic. So the defense program or whatever within this movie, they had her sister. They experimented on her sister. They both have the same telepathy powers. Sarah is her name, Sarah Gray, and they ended up killing her. So Jean Grey's mission throughout this entire movie is to get. At first, she's thinking that Sarah might be still alive. She's trying to get to this. Infiltrate this organization to try and save her sister, but unbeknownst known to her, she's been dead for quite a while, and she's pretty much just doing a doom-filled mission, and just that's the whole premise of the motivation of the Jean Grey character in this film, is to save her sister, or to save her already dead sister. So pretty much the true villain of the movie is the black dude. I can't think of his name. Is the head of the. He's capturing mutants. He's experimenting on them. Pretty much, he's a William Stryker style character, and he's eventually going to get taken down. Jean eventually takes him down, but I feel like either he escaped or we don't know the final, prognostication of his fate within the movie. So I feel like he's going to make an appearance in future movies as well, probably in the X-Men movie, the standalone. So I'm sure we'll get a conclusion to his fate once we see that. So it's good, though. It's a fantastic. Shout out to Sadie Sink and her first appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Jean Grey. Cannot wait to see more so than anything else. I loved her appearance in this movie. She was definitely, I definitely saw some Dark Phoenix in her, though, because he was definitely killing folks. That was not like, she's just, taking over people's minds and just making them do stuff. I'm like, nah, she's, damn near, she was killing folks and damn near killing folks. I mean, she threw MJ off a building. Spider-Man had to save her. She made a dude just walk in front of a bus. He's gone. He's dead. He's dead. Just saying. She's shooting dudes. She took over the entirety of Staten Island. They forced Frank to try to take her out with a sniper rifle. End up hitting Peter, almost killing him. Yeah, I know we're jumping around, but I'm just under the assumption you're in the spoiler portion now, so I'm under the assumption that you have seen the movie. If you have not seen the movie, why are you here? So I always say that a villain's performance in the movie dictates how good a superhero movie is, and Jean Grey, the surprising as Jean Grey as a villain in previous movies in X3 and the Dark Phoenix saga, completely destroyed both X-Men movie franchises, obliterated them. But this portrayal is Jean Grey as the quote-unquote villain in this one. That's a fantastic job. It really is. Kudos to that. Kudos. Absolutely love the fact that throughout the duration of the movie that they try to hint around MJ maybe getting her memories back. They even had Jean take over MJ's mind and gave the best mind F to that I've ever seen on screen. Had Peter convinced that MJ had gotten her memories back, and they kissing and like, oh my God, there you are, Peter, I remember. I'm like, oh no. Then that continues to translate into Peter unlocking his spider puberty. Yeah, so pretty much the premise of the entire duration of the movie, Peter is going through a traumatic, stress-induced puberty where he is unlocking the full potential of his spider powers, but he has to accept the fate of his choice to make his friends forget his existence. So it's almost like that inner turmoil, kind of like a God of War Atreus situation. I know not everybody has played the game, but bear with me here. So in that game, Kratos is not telling Atreus that he's part God. So he's just going around with all these specific powers and whatnot, not understanding where they're coming from, and him not understanding what he is making him sick. Kind of the same thing here. So Peter is going through an inner turmoil, keeping the secret of the Peter Parker character a secret from the people that he loves the most. And it causes a puberty spider style transformation to exaggerate his powers to new levels. You know, we all know the comic book territory of how strong Spider-Man can actually get. I feel like it was done on purpose. It takes me back to Spider-Man No Way Home, where the Tobey Maguire Peter Parker is able to stop the Tom Holland Peter Parker from killing the Green Goblin by stopping the little spear jet thing that he had in his hand. I feel like that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is stronger than that Tom Holland. And this movie explores that Tom Holland Spider-Man grasping on to that exaggerated strength that is able to be acquired. It's almost like, you know, it's like an RPG. He's done mission after mission after mission after mission, and he gets stronger. But this is like that Dragon Ball Z, like it's almost like jumping to, you know, Goku going Super Saiyan, or Gohan going Super Saiyan 2, or Goku going Super Saiyan 2, or Vegeta going Majin Vegeta, like, because he can't fully control it. You know, it's almost like his ego, his more primal animalistic instincts are taking over. So throughout the duration of the movie, they do a good job of exploring him training to control. It's almost like he has to go through another traumatic, stress-induced acceptance of his situation to master these extra powers that he is becoming accustomed to as the Spider-Man, as the arachnid powers is being more influxed into his human DNA. It's like, you know, the duration of the movie, you know, the human DNA is here and the arachnid DNA is climbing further and further and further, but he has to maintain his humanity to make sure that the arachnid DNA doesn't take him over completely. You know, fantastic. I'm not even a Marvel genius, but like, hey man, this movie makes you think. It really does. Me and my wife were having this debate on like which of the two should regain their memories first. You know, I said it should have been Ned because, you know, that's where the movie started out as. So the end of the movie, they come together. Peter sees him in the little coffee donut shop. They do their little handshake. That Ned automatically was like, Peter, you know. So here's my theory on that. So we know in No Way Home that Ned had the Doctor Strange. He with the little ring thing, he was able to create the portal, whatever. I think his natural ability to be able to forecast the Doctor Strange powers, I think, you know, his brain, and plus the Jean Grey final attack on everybody of her taking over all of the humans over Staten Island. I think that plus him just having that natural ability with the Doctor Strange powers, I think he was able to access his memories that were locked away or disintegrated or deleted. I think that 5 was able to trigger that for him to remember Peter at the very last scene of the movie. We don't have a confirmation on that, but I think, you know, if we get a Spider-Man 5 with Tom Holland, I think the remembrance of Ned is right, so spot on right there. So yeah, kudos to that. That made me happy because MJ is still completely in the dark. I'm so happy that they made the decision to not give Peter Parker that happy ending, because at the end of the day, just the Peter Parker character is just not supposed to get that happy ending. He just doesn't. You know, he's just still just supposed to go through those trials and tribulations. That's what his character represents. The Peter Parker character is supposed to represent the human suffering within rising above as the amazing superhero, and still putting the superhero part first rather than focusing on his own wants and needs. That's what translates to makes it so relatable to so many people around the world, specifically people that like have that the responsibility is to take care of other human beings. Like your core responsibility, once you bring people into this world, or if you have a spouse or if you have a family, your responsibility is to take care of those people. So how would you not translate to the Peter Parker character by putting your own wants and needs on the wayside, to put the focus on the people that you're supposed to take care of? That's just life, man. That's all it is to it. And it definitely put a smile on my face that Ned remembered Peter, and MJ is still, that they made the decision to have her find the note as well, and her being upset. Like, why would you not tell me about this like 4 years ago? And Peter's response, of course, is like, I wanted to protect you. My aunt died. I didn't want you to die too. The burden of being Spider-Man is not a joke. It's not a joke. People want to kill me every single day. So I just didn't want to put you in the way of that. And every Spider-Man, every iteration of the Peter Parker character before him has gone through this same thing. And it's a beautiful thing to witness every single time. I would never get tired of seeing that representation of that character on screen, for sure. Hulk, Punisher, two perfect characters to represent the transformation that Peter is going through throughout the duration of the movie. Bruce Banner himself, him trying to figure out a way to reciprocate the transformation within his own body, to try to sedate it, to keep it from happening. That's the same thing Bruce Banner has been dealing with his entire superhero life, trying to keep the Hulk at bay. So he was able to develop a little nano chip that was very reminiscent of the Doc Ock chip that was placed on the back of the neck. And it worked for a while, but, eventually the acceptance had to be sustained. Then, like, hey, man, I don't need this. I need to embrace this to become a more embraced version of myself, to push forward, to keep moving forward. And this is just brilliant storytelling across the board. It really is. Punisher. You would never not have Frank on screen having his banter with Peter. I tell you what, I was able to keep my emotions in check throughout the entire 2.5 hour experience. But I tell you what, I'll be a man and I'll be completely honest with you. When after Jean had taken over all of Staten Island and was threatening to kill everybody, and Frank shot that sniper shot and hit Peter, and he was able to get him to the hospital. And while Jean was able to help nurse him and Jean was able to help nurse him back to health, and he woke up, and Frank broke down for like, it wasn't even long. It was like 10 seconds. It's something about seeing the strongest male figures kind of have those Indian tears. Yeah. Oh, that was just something about that. I can count on one hand how many times I've seen my father cry in real life. And myself personally, I'm sure my daughter can count on one hand how many times she's seen me cry in real life. It just doesn't happen. We have to maintain a level of masculinity and vulnerability. Like, hey, this is a serious situation, but it's almost like it's a standard set that we are supposed to maintain, like a certain level of calmness and chill. And like, hey, I know this seems so bad right now, but we are going to get through it. We are going to make it through whatever we're going through right now. Like, and here's the set of steps that I can provide to help you get through it. Those are the lessons that my father passed on to me, and these are the lessons that I am passing on to my offspring. Just seeing that within Frank, just having that one little moment of vulnerability, it's so powerful. It really is. It's just, people, it's just that level of storytelling that you open yourself up to, that you allow yourself to feel. I've mentioned this numerous times on the channel before, but you allow yourself to feel that level of emotion. Like it only does nothing but just enhance your own, you're growing as a person, you're growing as a man. Your ability to grow as a man is just exaggerated when we see a character like that just be vulnerable. You don't have to be vulnerable all the time. We know how that goes. You choose your specific moments, your right moments to allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to be vulnerable. And that little moment between Frank and Peter that made the entire movie worth it. And just Peter's reaction to it, like, are you crying? love it. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. And Frank immediately like, wait a minute. You're okay, you're not dying, you're fine. I'm not crying. You're fine. I'm like, dude, that is everything. Kudos. Just those little moments like that makes it so special. It's so special, dude. It really is, man. Sheesh. If you're still here with me, cool. I thank you. I love you. I don't know what minute level we're at right now, but yeah, I know this video is long, but listen, like I said, Spider-Man is my favorite comic book character. Whenever we get a new Spider-Man movie, hey man, I'm going to have a lot to talk about. I love this movie. I loved it from start to finish. There's a little bit of bias coming in there because Spider-Man is my personal favorite. I'm sure all of your movie review buffs are going to have their own opinion and they're going to have some nitpicks about it, but I love the Spider-Man rogue gallery of villains. I love the X-Men. I love that they were able to incorporate, kind of centering both worlds to help expand the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That puts a smile on my face. Sony and Marvel combining their strengths and their talents. I cannot wait to see what's next for Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Sadie Sink's Jean Grey. And I'm very excited to see, the Tom Holland Spider-Man character is able to get back with MJ. That would be cool. If not, hey man, there has to be some acceptance in that. I can't wait to see him rekindle his relationship with Ned. I can't wait to see just future movies. Hopefully we get a fifth one. I don't know if we're going to get a fifth one. Tom Holland and Zendaya are married. I'm sure a kid is coming in their future. They're nearing their 30s. I had my child when I was 29. So surely that's got to be somewhere in the future. Just saying. I don't know. So I guess we'll see, man. I love this adventure so much. Am I ready to say this was my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time? I think the nostalgia in me will always say that Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire is still my personal favorite Spider-Man film, standalone film for sure. But man, this grounded, homegrown Spider-Man film, this might be a close second. Man, it was so good. No Way Home is still right there, but Brand New Day and No Way Home, if I had to put No Way Home, might be like just right there for sure. I just hope that we get a new one, man. I hope that we get a fifth one. I really do. Hopefully this is a trilogy that kind of ends with, MJ and Peter getting back together and him, kind of passing the mantle onto a live action Miles Morales character. I feel like that's the cumulation that should be the end of the Tom Holland Spider-Man franchise. I feel like we should get 2 more movies featuring him, with the end, or with the 6th one kind of being an introduction to the Miles Morales character and him continuing on within the live action pantheon of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay. And I'm going to end it there. I don't know how long I've been talking. It's got to be at least 20, 25 minutes here. So if you've been with me the whole time, thank you. I love you. Thank you for listening to me talk about my favorite comic book character since I was a little boy. That will never change. The correlation and relation that I have with the Peter Parker character will always be a major standard in my life. It's just the Goku character, the Sonic the Hedgehog character, the Mario character. Peter Parker is right in the mix of all of that. He always will be. And I'm so grateful that I have been able to experience this and be able to share it with you guys. So, you know what it is, what time it is now. If you appreciated the effort of this video, do hit that like button. If you're a fan of Spider-Man, hit that like button. If you're a fan of me, hit that like button. If you're a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Avengers, Doomsday, if you're excited, hit that like button and that hype button. That helps YouTube realize that you are really appreciating the content and you want to see way more of it. You want to see more content just like this, get subscribed. You can follow me at youtube.com/Marjack79. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, my friends, thank you guys for the years of support. Truly, I could talk about this movie out there. I really could. I might make another one. We'll see, I guess. As always, thank you guys for the years of support. And I will see y'all on the next one. I'll catch y'all later. Bye. Avengers, assemble.